альфа и омега современной экономики.
The alpha and omega of the modern economy are a developed transport infrastructure, optimal logistics, and high transit potential. Whoever has these assets owns the world. For countries that are at the stage of growth, the search for new opportunities in the sphere is not only a question that is important for the present, but also for the future.
Для настоящего, но и будущего.
Opening of new transport routes, creation of junction points for the transshipment of cargo, expansion of the road network. These processes have always played the role of drivers in the economies of societies. Each region preserves its historical memory, records of how the new transit routes influenced the development of their economies. This is something that happened across the Eurasian continent as well. To be more precise, not just happened, but was the beginning of something new.
Это начало называется Великий Шелковый путь. По его дорогам в древние времена...
This beginning is called the Great Silk Road. In ancient times, cargo, agricultural products, and technological innovations moved across this path from Asia to Europe. The project The New Silk Way, in the current modern conditions, holds even more possibilities. The fact is that the world has changed. It has become more energetic, mobile, technological, oriented towards projects that have the potential to change the landscape of the modern economy. And here the concept of optimal transnational routes holds a special place. This brings our peoples together, because the security and stability of the states through which these routes pass are to the benefit of all. This transport artery will give an impulse to the development of production in all countries. Almost all talks about the current global tendencies today end with the prospects of the new architecture of the world economy. This restructuring is discernible in development scenarios of concrete states and regions, which are based on a multi-factor analysis.
Центр мирового производства и торговли постепенно перемещается в Азию.
The center of world production and trade is slowly shifting towards Asia, more particularly China. According to experts, by 2020, the volume of cargo transport between China and Europe will reach 170 million tons. Despite the slowdown in growth, experts are still giving high assessment to the potential of China's economy. Today, the country is interested in the search for optimal transit options. In this context, Kazakhstan has a historical chance to become one of the main participants of the project, the New Silk Road. Bridges are built in order to connect the shores of one river. This bridge across the Khorgos River connects not only its shores, but is the connecting link in the sphere of trade and economy of two countries, Kazakhstan and China. The International Center of Near-Border Cooperation, Khorgos. This project became a reality thanks to the initiative of the leaders of Kazakhstan and China. This center is a sort of a mini-city that has everything to ensure comfortable communication between the business people of both countries for going shopping, accessing banking services, as well as hotels. The modern realization of the Silk Road idea. This project is unique and has no equivalents in the world. The main feature of the project is the visa-free access to citizens of Kazakhstan and China, as well as citizens of third countries that are legally staying on the territory of Kazakhstan. By the way, Kazakhstan announced about its plans connected with the project for the revival of the Silk Road back in spring of 2012. This was voiced by the country's president during the 25th session of the Council of Foreign Investors.
Today,
Kazakhstan is a crossroads of civilizations, of big roots. And here there is a genius combination of the Silk Road project and the project of the Eurasian Economic Union. Kazakhstan is at the center between two parts of the world. It borders with 5 countries. 2 of them, Russia and China, have the status of world superpowers. A number of international corridors pass through the territory of Kazakhstan, highway and railway.
You are in the right place at the right time. There will be great amounts of trade between East and West, and you could be and should be part of it. You have lots of natural resources. You're located at the right place.
The right place is determined by geography, a circumstance that is regarded as a given. Regarding the right time, this factor is not constant and fast-changing. Here a lot depends on anticipatory actions. Kazakhstan tries to use this tactic even during the periods of crisis of the world economy. Coming up next, Western Europe, Western China, the focal points of the global project.
Осенью 2008 года в Актубе профили Министерства Казахстана и России, курирующие...
In autumn of 2008, the ministries of Kazakhstan and Russia that deal with the issues of transport and communication signed a memorandum in Aktobe. This agreement stipulates the main aspects of cooperation in the sphere of highway projects along the routes St. Petersburg, Kazan, Orenburg, Aktobe, Almaty, and border with China. And in exactly 1 year, this city witnessed the beginning of wide-scale changes in the road infrastructure of the country. It was precisely here in Aktobe that the president of Kazakhstan launched the mega project Western Europe, Western China.
Западная Европа, Западный Китай именно здесь, в Актобе.
The scale of this project speaks to its global significance. The geography of the international transport corridor encompasses China, western provinces, Kazakhstan from south to west, and Russia, the European part, the future route, Belarus, Poland, and Germany. The central land route, which entails the construction of a logistics corridor from China to Europe, is truly a very ambitious project, which is economically rewarding. The potential share of cargo transport along this route depends on the direction. China, Kazakhstan, Russia, Western Europe occupies 40%, China countries of Central Asia 35%, and China, Kazakhstan 25%. From these forecasts, it can be seen that aside from the global impact, the project can give an impulse to the economic development of the region. It is not only Kazakhstan but also other countries of Central Asia that do not have access to sea. This limits the volume of their trade turnover. Thanks to the corridor, they will have a possibility to expand the geography of their foreign markets. Some European logistics companies are already striving in this new direction. The Russian economy is experiencing a slowdown. The volume of cargo flows has dropped significantly. We had to decide, or we move back to Europe for shipments, or we move further on. We decided to move further. This means trying in Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, and Kyrgyzstan. The transport corridor Western Europe, Western China is not the only project with the aid of which Kazakhstan is planning to integrate into the world transport and logistics system.
Стратегия инфраструктурного развития, которую выбрал Казахстан, гораздо сложнее.
The strategy of infrastructural development that was chosen by Kazakhstan is much more difficult than it seems at first glance. It entails a synergy of a number of projects and concepts.
Инициированы другими странами.
In the beginning, a plan was elaborated on the creation of the basic components of the transport system. With their help, gradually the skeleton of the transit corridor is being established, particularly these branches, Jibek, Khorgos. The strategic significance of this railway line to build and integrate the missing piece into the highway network, to provide a second transport window on the border with China, and lay the groundwork for the opening of a new station and formation of the largest transit junction in Central Asia.
Трудно поверить, но на этом месте еще недавно были только песчаные барханы.
It is hard to believe, but not so long ago, this area was covered in sand dunes. Their height reached 7 meters. And nothing suggested that in this place a modern railway station will be built, along with roads and a huge construction site, where today international projects are being realized. The station Altınkol was built in record-setting periods, in just 1 year. Here, everything was constructed taking into account the near-border status of the station, as well as prospective developments, railroad stations for passengers with direct and transit routes, administrative buildings, maintenance and engineering structures, automated systems of monitoring, inspection, and control of trains, and a dispatch center.
На сухой корп, там порожники по широкой колее имеются.
Порожняк по широкой имеется, уақытта түседі, обратно 2-3 килот, 2-4 поезд болады деталь.
During the construction of the railway routes and infrastructural buildings, as well as establishment of the service and maintenance park, the difference in the track gauge were also taken into account. China's wagons have a track gauge of 1,435 millimeters, and Kazakhstan's wagons 1,520 millimeters. The station has 2 terminals for reloading operations.
Здесь перегруз производится контейнеров, открытого поддержного состава, оборудования и техники.
Here, reloading of containers of the open rolling stock and equipment takes place. The provisory length of the platform is 850 meters. 50 wagons can fit here at the same time. Daily, 150 wagons can pass through this platform.
Вагонов.
Depending on the travel route from the Altınkol station, part of the cargo is transferred to the territory of the Special Economic Zone, Khorgos Eastern Gates. This is where today the infrastructural groundwork of the largest transit junction in the region is being built. And everything that happens here is under the close attention of international media.
Join me this month in Kazakhstan as we travel down Silk Road, past, present, and future.
Переход на рельсы,
The switch to the railway path in infrastructural development within the context of the new economic realities gives Kazakhstan an opportunity to simultaneously play two roles: a country that creates for itself new points of growth and an international transit hub at the juncture of Europe and Asia.
Азии.
And here, the new transport lines will play a strategically important role. Jibek and Shalkar-Beineu. They were built along the principle of two rays directed at one another. Their connection means shorter periods that are required for the transport of cargo in the direction north-south and optimization of movement from the border Kazakhstan-China to the Aktau port.
Чтобы грузопоток попал в регионы Каспийского региона, наш грузовой поток шел.
Before, in order for the cargo flow to get to the region of the Caspian Sea, this is how it passed. It was a very long route. Today it can go straight like this, a route that is 700 kilometers shorter.
Примерно на 700 километров.
Ozyen-Bereket-Gorgan, the international transport corridor. The total distance, 900 kilometers. Length of the Kazakhstan section, 120 kilometers. 2 years ago, it was conjoined with the Turkmenistan section, Bereket-Kızılgaya.
Новая железнодорожная линия
The
Казахстан-Туркменистан.
new railway line Kazakhstan-Turkmenistan-Iran is an important branch of the transit corridor north-south. It will provide for the transport of cargo from Kazakhstan to ports that are located in the region of the Persian Gulf.
Персидского залива.
Second of all, Kazakhstan now has an opportunity to play its role in the movement of cargo from China and other countries of the Asian Pacific region in the direction of Iran. From the 15th of October 2015, Kazakhstan, Turkmenistan and Iran, with the aim of increasing the competitiveness of this route, have introduced new rates for container trains that are transiting from China. According to experts, this project will facilitate not only the expansion of the geography of markets and strengthening of ties between the countries, but also maintenance of security in the region.
Казахстан великолепно балансирует не только между...
Kazakhstan is maintaining a great balance in relations with Russia and China, and also has great relations with the countries of the Islamic world, with Western Europe, United States, and countries of the Far East, Korea and Japan. This is the key to success.
Это залог успеха.
Further in the program, all roads lead to the Caspian region, or the place where railway routes meet the sea.
Масштабная стройка инфраструктурных объектов сегодня в Казахстане ведется по вектору, который обозначен...
In Kazakhstan today, wide-scale construction of infrastructural objects follows the vector that was determined by the new economic policy, Nurly Zhol. The transport and logistics component holds a special place in this aspect. By the way, in the Kazakh language, Nurly Zhol has a number of meanings: bright path, big road, and the well-wishing of successful travels. It is not by chance that this program is being implemented under the slogan, the path to the future.
Эта программа внедряется в жизнь общества под знаком «Путь в будущее».
This program includes a number of infrastructural projects, with the aid of which Kazakhstan's transport and logistics system should get a second wind. The strategic link in the route China, Kazakhstan, countries of Transcaucasia, Iran, is the Aktau seaport. The Aktau seaport is located at the intersection of a number of transport corridors. These are Treseka, as well as north-south and east-west. In order to compete with other ports, procedures for the registration of cargo are being simplified, new classification standards are being actively implemented, and the potential of the ferry line, Aktau-Baku, is being expanded. In addition, the let-through capacity of the port is being increased through the development of its northern part. The project on the expansion of the Aktau port includes the construction of docks, a grain terminal, and facilitating infrastructural objects. As a result, Kazakhstan's sea gates will not only expand their scope of operations, but also reach higher capacity levels. The Caspian Plan of Transit Development also entails construction of completely new objects. 70 kilometers from the city of Aktau, where the Korok port is located, a wide-scale project is being realized on the construction of a ferry line for the movement of container cargo. The specialization in reloading free containers of the ferry line will allow to not only increase the let-through capacity, but also access new markets. Within the framework of the international Trans-Caspian route, the question of creation of a container train, Nomad Express, is being addressed. Participants of the consortium are China, Kazakhstan, Azerbaijan, Georgia, and Turkey.
Turkey for Kazakhstan is the gateway to a huge Mediterranean basin. You have Africa, which is developing tremendously. There will come a time when Kazakhstan will look to open to Africa. How will it open to Africa? The best way the easiest way is going to be via the Mediterranean, via Turkey, to North Africa, and from there beyond.
An important component of ferry transport at the Koruk port will be the new railway branch, Borjakte-Yersay. This line will be the connecting link between the ferry port and the existing highway. Planned work includes building 13.8 kilometers of railway lines, 2 stations, and engineered structures. The infrastructure has already been built and is being prepared to be commissioned for operations. All these projects together, highway, railway, infrastructural, make up the Eurasian Transcontinental Corridor.
Евразийский трансконтинентальный коридор будет
The
проходить...
Eurasian Transcontinental Corridor will pass along 2 routes. The first, by land, through Kazakhstan, Russia, and onto Europe.
Второе направление
The second is multimodal, across the territory of Kazakhstan, from the Altan-Kol station to the Aktau port.
А уже далее
From the Aktau port, along the Caspian Sea to Azerbaijan, Georgia, and further on to Europe. All this work will get additional support when near the territory of the second transport window on the border of Kazakhstan and China, the transport and logistics hub fully starts its operations. Coming up next in the program, the new urban landscape, or port among sands. On the territory of the Special Economic Zone Horgos Eastern Gates, a new mega-project is being realized, a dry port. This is the very first land-based internal terminal in Central Asia. Located in the depth of the Eurasian continent, removed from seas, it will perform the same functions as a seaport: transshipment, distribution, storage, customs registration of container, and other types of cargo.
площадь сухого порта
The
140...
total area of the dry port is 149 hectares. This is more than 1/3 of the total area of the Special Economic Zone. All the energy of the construction of the eastern gates of Kazakhstan is concentrated here today.
Ворот Казахстана.
The dry port has a whole complex of infrastructural objects and is in itself a center for the operational management of cargo. Different tracks are provided for, taking into account the differences in track gauges of trains from China and Kazakhstan.
This is the central place of Korgos Gateway. This is the central link of the Silk Roads. Over there you see 1, 2, 3 China rail tracks, and over here you see 1, 2, 3 Kazakh rail tracks. These trains go straight to China, these rail tracks go straight to Europe. This is where the east meets the west.
The dry port is located at a strategic and technological junction with the Altan-Kol station. Once the trains arrive from the station to the port, reloading operations begin.
Біздің осы операциямызды өндіру үшін 4 ричтакерімізді және контейнеровоз көліктерімізді.
In order to do all this work, today we're using 4 specialized reach stackers for servicing container trucks. But in December we'll get cranes and the work will go much faster.
Козловой крандарымыз келеді. Ол кезде жұмыс тезірек болады.
Aside from terminals and warehouses intended for various types of cargo, the dry port has a container platform. The dry port, the Altan-Kol station, new railway lines, expansion of the Aktau port, the ferry line Koruk, transport corridor Western Europe, Western China. Experts are promising that the full-blown launch of all these projects is one of the mechanisms of diversification of not only transit routes, but also the economy of the country.
Большая стройка имеет свои особенности, как правило...
Large-scale construction has its own specificities. As a rule, the principle of centrifugal forces comes into effect. New productions commence all around. Everything starts moving. People, equipment, and cargo. And this results in a multiplier effect. The first to benefit from the projects on the development of the transport and logistics complex of Kazakhstan are domestic companies and producers that took part in them. They gain a good experience and serious motivation for growth. Altan-Kol, the dry port, Zhezkazgan-Beineu, Arkalyk-Shubarkul, Western Europe and Western China, the Nurlazhol program. Each project has its own specificities and many advantages, and the most interesting part is that people are changing. Acceleration of the movement of cargo in the direction Asia-Europe is already happening today. Only in the first 6 months of 2015, the flow of container trains along this route increased threefold.
For
Kazakhstan, realization of global infrastructural projects is a unique chance to benefit from its transit potential and gain economic returns. A path that opens up new opportunities for Kazakhstan. Until next time.